Today is Saturday, December 31st, 11:15 p.m., and this is my very, very much delayed review of the American version of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And I've been lazy, somewhere to put it. I made notes at the theater and made some notes later, but I never got around to really moving it around and fleshing it out, and I finally just did it now. And even then, I didn't finish. So I'm going to be referring to my notes and everything, and I'm probably going to forget a ton of stuff. But here's my review of David Fincher's The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. First thing I have to say is I was one of only 3 people in the theater. Not a good sign. It was a 3:15 showing on a Wednesday, so maybe people were just working. I don't know. First thing I'd like to say is that in comparison to the Swedish film and even the book, well, obviously the book, it seemed more streamlined, had a much quicker pace. It was better in some areas and worse in others. First thing, it didn't start off well. The title opening was weird. I didn't like it at all. I didn't get the point of it. It's, what is it? What is that, ink? Or that made no sense at all. It was just, it was worthless. It did nothing for the film. In fact, it hurt the film in my opinion. And I still hate the remake of Immigrant Song. If you're not going to use the If you're not going to use the Led Zeppelin song, don't use the Led Zeppelin song, because I don't see what's so great about this chick. Maybe this chick is something special when she sings her own material, but when she's just murdering a classic song with the help of Trent Reznor, I was not happy. Like I said, so this was not a good way to open the movie. But I knew about the song, of course, and I hated it then. But I didn't know about the opening. I don't know. It was just awful. Okay, I like the way they handled the condensing of Blomqvist's trial in comparison to the Swedish version. Yeah, it was handled a lot better than the Swedish version. Is anyone from the paper even named in this film? I can't remember, but I know in the books the running of Millennium is a bigger part of the film. A bigger part of the film, bigger part of the book. But in the movies, well, in the other movies it's a little better, but in this movie it's just like they're just extras. I had to see the movie again, but they just didn't seem to really do anything. I gotta say the rape scenes were tamer and shorter. The walk after the anal rape looks less painful. It simply does not compare to the gut punch of the Swedish films. I'm actually pretty shocked at how tame they are, really. Is this American Puritanism at work? I don't know. As far as the sex scenes between Elizabeth and Blomqvist is even more abrupt than the first time, but at the same time, I think it was a little bit better. But her mentioning of Berger as a reasoning is okay, but it's never going to compare to the book, because in a book you get the feeling that something is brewing before it happens, whereas in the movies you just can't. I have something that says gas here. I don't know what the hell that's about. Something about gas. There was an unnecessary fixation on Elizabeth as a lesbian. Will being in the film at all, Miriam Will being in the film at all, having her be basically reduced to a one-night stand when she's, where is that going to go for the second and third film when she plays a much bigger part? And they have a much longer history in the books. She's hanging around with Elizabeth with the evil fingers and all that. But if that's just going to have to be changed if there is a sequel. I can't wait to see what was cut, because Karen Berger still gets shafted in this film. Karen Berger, Erica Berger. Where is this Karen from? I did that for something else too. Erica Berger gets shafted in the film. I wasn't sure how I felt about Elizabeth's status being discussed in the film so early, because it's such a well, not for the reader, but for the characters in the film, finding out that she's a ward and everything, and and she's crazy and everything. It's a much bigger deal, but it's like it's right out there almost as soon as Bunko starts looking into her. I'm so glad that all the evil isn't shown as it was in the Swedish film because I never liked that. Never liked it. I am, however, not sure I like having Elizabeth tell Bunkers what she did to her father. That's not the greatest pillow talk, and it just seemed unnecessary. Plague makes an appearance in the film, obviously, but he's never even named. Neither are the tech guys in the van who go to London. They're not named, and it only seemed like it was one other person in there, not was it 2 or 3 guys and a dog in the book? I can't remember. Another thing I didn't like, there was not enough time devoted to Mikhail as a man whore. You know, I couldn't even imagine him having sex with the Cecilia in this movie. This was selfish in this film and the Swedish film compared to the book. There are different mediums, and she's a cipher who's a character. She's a cipher as a character, and she's shown, you learn who she is through what the author writes about her, not what she says, or even what other people say, but what she's thinking inside. But you can't, unless you're going to have voiceover, you can't really do that in a movie. Frode is not as likable in this film at all. He's kind of an asshole. You know, he's supposed to be, in the book you get the feeling that he is the right hand of Unger, but he's just not likable in this movie. And she left Palmgren in the hospital only when he was alive in the second book. Here she stays and does some of what she does in the second book. This shows she cares about people, but it would have been better to have this be shown by her visits to her mother. But time is everything, I suppose. I'm not sure she's even mentioned in this movie. This also means her sister isn't mentioned either. I like the motorcycle better, but I wish they had stuck with the Kawasaki 125cc. But I actually do like the motorcycle better in this film. I don't understand why neither one of the movies could stick with what happened to Martin in the book. I don't get it. Maybe they don't want to pay for it, but it's so much better for him to be being chased by Elizabeth and runs right into a truck. In the Swedish film, he just rolls or whatever. In this film, he just runs into a gas. It just makes no sense, and it's not the same. It's like they want to make Elizabeth more badass by having her have more to do with it than it really is. Like in the Swedish film, they have her watching him burn to death. I mean, it seems so unnecessary. And in this one, she asks for permission to kill him, and then she has the gun, and then she's just standing there. Unnecessary. Should have stuck with what the book had. Okay, another thing, in the book, Harriet took on Anita's identity and spent time in the convent, and eventually ended up in Australia, a widower in charge of a thriving business. Anita was alive and well, and in London, unmarried, to protect Harriet. In the Swedish film, Harriet is still in Australia, but Anita had died of cancer, I think. And in this version, the American version, Harriet took on Anita's identity when she and her husband died in an auto accident. This is a big change from the book and the Swedish film. I guess they didn't want to fly to Australia. And by making her an investment banker, it's not quite the same as her running, all those amalgamated companies in Australia. It would make more sense for her to come from Australia and then go to Sweden and run Vanguard. But whatever. I like how this film handled the account clean out. It was much better than having Elizabeth shoot Wennerstrom. Why? I don't understand why it was so hard to stick with the Elvis thing as in the book. Here it's a motorcycle jacket that Elizabeth buys for Kelly Lundquist. So I'm forgetting a ton of stuff, but I just want to get this over with because this has been sitting here since last Wednesday before, I can't remember when was it, 21st. So 9 days. It's been 9 days. This has been sitting around. I haven't done it. And in the end, I gave this, my gut reaction was this was a 3.5 stars film. 3.5 stars out of 5 film. And I gave the Swedish film, the theatrical version of the Swedish film, 4 stars. So I guess this means I like the Swedish film better. Yeah, I guess that's what it means. But I mean, I like the film, and I really, really, really want to see what was cut out of this film to get it down to a running time of what, under 2 hours and 30 minutes or so. So I guess there's at least 30 more minutes of film that is going to be on DVD release, hopefully. It'll be interesting to see. I still haven't seen the extended cuts of the Swedish films either. So that'll be interesting to see how all 4 of them handle all the extra, stuff that was just jettisoned to make it, shorter. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, 3.5 stars. I want to see it again. I'll probably see it at least 2 more times. Well, probably more than that because I've seen the Swedish films 3 times now. And as soon as I finish The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, I'll be watching the films again for a 4th time. So, yeah, like I said, 3.5 of 5. It was good. Good and bad. I mean, I'm just gonna end this now because I'm just tripping over myself right now. So, peace.